normally when people think of mosaics, they think of it as like a craft, or like let's cover a table. Well, I want everybody to know that it's not. It's a fine art. I'm inspired mostly by nature, and I take a lot of photos of nature, and I use a lot of my photos actually in the pieces. The spider was actually a spider that built its web across my front door, and so I was taking a lot of photos of her. A lot of people use tiles and different non-transparent glass, but I use the stained glass because you can see my photos behind it. It's really exciting to know that there's people from Central Florida that are in this exhibit, along with people from all over the U.S. We've all known each other for years, but you only get to meet everybody every now and then. So it's cool to bring all the artwork together, but also bring all the mosaic artists together to see each other.
Well, I love mosaics because they are very challenging, and at the same time you cannot make big mistakes. Sometimes I see something that gives me an idea in my mind, and I say, oh, that would be cool if I do this and that. And sometimes it's our everyday life, about feelings, I don't know, my family sometimes, or the everyday things that go around, that you see something and it sparks something in my mind, and sometimes it's hard to say what inspires me.
I got involved with a group called Julia Kay's Portrait Party, which is a group of artists from all over the world who we do portraits of each other. It's an online group, and there's hundreds of people. The work you see here are portraits, and we talked about the last 6 years almost, I've been doing almost exclusively portraits. I do a lot of other stuff, but I use a lot of broken plates and stuff, and they have different kind of patterns and words and textures, and sometimes the rim on the back of the piece can then become a textural element in the work. And I'm always experimenting, developing stuff based on what I know before, and then always trying out new things. It's a real amazing representation of what mosaic is in this room. I've known some of these people online for like more than 10 years, and we're just now meeting, and it's so wonderful that so many of us were able to come to be a part of this show.
This show is the opportunity for me really to highlight the fusion between fine arts and design. I'm a product designer by trade, but my first love is painting and drawing. And they both serve each other. I've used, of course, drawing and painting in the design world, but sometimes you think of them as separate. And over the years that I've been doing product design, I've realized that they're never separate, and that they're actually are very interwoven. And for example, what we're looking at over here, I'm really excited personally to see these. These are direct prints on plywood. These are the original concept sketches that I played with, and they're directly printed on plywood. A local company, Color Reflections, is doing some wonderful new things. They can print on any substrate, and so this is a result of their work. Sometimes you're working on something that's pretty medicinal and it's straightforward. You might be doing a chair and it is what it is. But then sometimes you get this great opportunity to design, exciting, visually captivating light fixtures. But then at the same time, when you do this, it leads to this. Or this can start the light fixtures, and it's that full roundabout thing. Design, we see it every day. We're walking through it every day. All these little things in our worlds and environments is designed, it's considered, and sometimes it's really, really beautiful. And hopefully we take notice of that.
What inspires me most is to idealize nature, the tiny forms of nature, the center of the flower. And I also love to do things in a sculptural form, and I use acrylic and Asian rice paper and modeling paste and whatever I can find to really get to the point where it's exciting for me. And most of the time it starts out as a small sketch where I scan into the computer and project out onto the canvas, draw it, and then choose color. And it sort of evolves from there for me.
My paintings are actually from my master's thesis. And the idea here is to do something not just with color, but with design. And I've always been intrigued by maps. And so I utilize topographical maps, and I also was fascinated by cities. But some of them are very geometric, and some of them are a combination of geometry and organic landforms. This piece we're looking at here is only 3 colors, red, black, and white. And just trying to see how much variety I can get from that limitation. This one is just a little bit different in that, again, it's almost one color, blue, white, black, but then I added some earth tones to it, just give it some variety. But here, the circles actually are the freeway off-ramps, and they actually are an arc, and I just complete the circle wherever they occur. And I got this really wonderful pattern.
I looked around the country and I saw a bunch of shows where people are doing square shows, a lot of 12 by 12 shows, and I really like the look of it, and I wanted to bring something like that to Orlando. Basically, the only stipulations were it had to be a square aspect ratio. So it didn't matter what size, could be little, could be big. It didn't matter how many people wanted to bring, which was insane. But yeah, we got about 45 different artists and 120 pieces of art in here, and I'm really proud of how it looks.
Johan's pieces, he's from Iceland. He was here at UCF for 30 years, and Iceland's rotundra. He makes a big disc out of multiple metals, all right, using bronze, zinc, copper, aluminum, and then takes a piece of paper or a piece of cloth, wets it, buries it in the ground for 6 months. All of these pieces are transfers. They're rust transfers. He didn't draw it, he didn't paint it, he just buried it in the ground and let the paper take on the characteristic of the metal. Mine's a little more simple. What you see is what you get, isn't it? You got a spray can, then I spray. You got a gun, a 38, then I shoot. You got a roller, I do the roller. If it's a torch, I do a torch. The act of what it is ends up making the imagery. Not painting the shoe, but using the shoe to make the indentations.
You know, some people work out, some people do yoga. I like to do photography. You know, you go through a bad breakup, you think, was it my fault? Was it something I did? Was it something that I could have done differently? So when I was doing reflecting internally, I literally was walking around taking pictures, and I took that one, and it just turned into something that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to externalize what was going on inside of me. I'm happy that I got to share it. I'm happy that I got to share the story with some of the people that came here tonight.